Write in the chat box if you can hear me. Hi, hello. Hello, hello. Good morning. Yes, you can hear me. Fantastic. Well done. Great. Okay. So welcome again to this webinar. My name is Małgosia Tetiurka. I'm from Lublin. I work at John Paul II Catholic University of Lublin, where I teach a course in teaching English to young learners. I also work part-time in a local teacher training, in-service teacher training institution, Lubelskie Samorządowe Centrum Doskonalenia Nauczycieli, where I organize courses for teachers and also run some courses. I also write materials occasionally. I'm also a Cambridge examiner, so I do a lot of things, but what I like best, what I like most, actually, is working with teachers. I find it most rewarding, and because at the moment I'm not teaching children myself. Hello from Bielska-Biała. I'm not teaching children myself at the moment. Meetings with teachers are the best source for me of information about what's going on in the teaching area and what problems teachers face. I also work a lot with teachers from other countries because I am a trainer for NILE, and NILE is Norwich Institute for Language Education. And interestingly, doesn't matter where teachers come from, whether they come from less developed countries, more developed countries, whether they have more resources or fewer resources, their problems actually boil down to the same: how to keep your learners engaged, how to keep them motivated. So hopefully I will try to address some of these issues today. But before we move on, I would like to find out where you are from. Some people have already mentioned places they are from. Could you quickly write in the chat box the town where you live? Legnica, okay. Brodnica, Targak, lovely. Nowy Sącz. No, it's near Nowy Sącz. Jarosław, Płońsk, Gdynia. You're writing faster than I can read. Warszawa, Kielce, Brzesko, Warszawa again. Do we have anyone from Lublin, I wonder? Zaburza Radzeń Podlaski, that's not bad. Lublin, hello. Hello, Rafał, hello. Rafał used to be my student at Catholic University. Giżycka, okay. Bielska-Biała again. All right. So, Łańcut. Grabów koło Łęczycy, Siedlce. Okay. Right. Thank you. My next question is, I would like to find out what your professional situation is. So if you can look at these questions. Are you a primary teacher, an experienced primary teacher? So you've been in the profession, you've been teaching children for a number of years. Or are you primary teacher but inexperienced? And by primary teacher, I mean primary English teacher. Or maybe you are thinking of starting to teach children in the future. Or maybe, option 4, option D, you are worried you will have to teach children in the future. Maybe you are a secondary teacher and you think you will have to. Or maybe you're not a teacher, maybe you are a parent or school head. Okay, we've got a number of experienced teachers, some inexperienced. Okay. Thinking and worried. All right. Marta, thinking and worried about it. Oh, we've got a university teacher and teacher trainer. Hello. Some people thinking about it. Okay. Yeah, I can see a lot of experienced primary teachers. Anyhow, you suppose you're experienced. I'm sure you are. high school teacher, Christina. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know that if you've never taught children, it may be a bit daunting at first, you know, the whole idea of moving to this lower sector. Okay, so what have I prepared for today? What's the menu for today? Of course, we're going to talk about the reform and about the new core curriculum. So we'll briefly look at the what of it. But then I would like to spend some time thinking why we are doing things the way we are doing, or we should be doing them in a certain way. And then hopefully I will offer some suggestions on how to do it, how to manage the new core curriculum. So this is the menu. Okay, so let's move on. The new core curriculum. What's really new? As you can see, I put here the cover of the old curriculum, which not so long ago was a new curriculum. It was introduced in 2008, so it's less than 10 years. I still remember when I was sort of advertising it during teacher training sessions as new curriculum. So if you can think about it, I'm sure you've read it or you've looked at it. What is the one new thing which is most sort of distinct for you? Something that you, if you think about new curriculum, what you think is going to be new? Okay, some people are still saying hello. One thing, one new thing which you have in mind. More specific topics. Yes. Teachers have to use technology. Okay. Info about Poland. Okay, so the country where you live, cultural topics. Higher level of English expected. Accuracy, more important. Maybe not more important, but emphasis on accuracy. Okay, the new exam. Correlating English with other subjects. Projects, yeah. Higher level of English again. Less hours. Okay, some more people are writing. Communicative skills. I'm not sure communicative skills are really new. Shorter process of preparation for the exam. Comparing Polish and British culture, including Polish culture. Bilingual junior high schools will disappear. More difficult exam after only 2 years. More demands from the teacher. That's the worry we always have in connection with reforms, that it will mean more work for us. Okay, thank you very much. Hi Eva, you're not really very late. We're just beginning. Okay, I reduced my list to two areas. Definitely, this list of thematic areas is something which is like most visible. Okay, you open the new curriculum, and up till now, for this first stage of education, we didn't have this list. It was more general. Now we've got a list of topics, a list of thematic areas. Okay, some people, you know, sort of take a shortcut and call it like a vocabulary list. But as you mentioned, another important thing is linking English with other educational areas. Okay, I didn't want to call them subjects because actually they are called edukacje in the curriculum. And it's written explicitly that the teacher now needs to be familiar with the whole curriculum, not only the curriculum for his subject, but the whole curriculum, and should try to link it with other areas. And the last thing which I want to concentrate on today, to focus on today, is multisensory approach. Now, let me make one thing absolutely clear. This is not really new. You know, this correlation with other subject was always recommended for this first stage of education. Multisensory approach is the only logical approach if you think about teaching children and if you think about catering for their developmental needs. But what is new is that in this new curriculum, these areas are explicitly emphasized, explicitly stressed. They are there, they are written, you know, expressis verbis, which means that we really have to pay attention to it. We really have to incorporate it in our planning. And actually, I'm quite happy about it because this is all good practice. Okay, so there is this new list of thematic areas which makes the curriculum for the first stage of education for grades 1 to 3 similar, nearly like parallel to curricula for higher stages. So can you have a look at this graph with these topic areas? And can you identify 2 topic areas which are not in this list for early primary? There are 2 extra ones which are not necessary. If you found them, can you write them in the chat box? I'm not saying anything yet. I'm just waiting for your answers. Waiting for more answers. I know it's difficult to read these words in different directions, but I wanted to wake you up a bit in the morning and to challenge you. Okay, a lot of people are suspicious about fairy tales and imagination or imagery. Well, I have to tell you that fairy tales, the world of fairy tales, is on the list. But people who are writing science are right. There is no science at this level. There is one more topic. So fairy tales are okay, imagination okay, science not. And there is one more topic. Yeah, Małgosia Knap, you won the contest. Health. Yeah, health is another topic which is not on the list. We'll look at the list in a second. Okay, so science and health. Now another question. There is one vocabulary area which is missing from the list. Who can find this? Something is missing. Something we are supposed to teach at this level, and it's not here. Something is missing. Jobs. Okay, Yasha, you're right. I think animals are under nature. Okay, so the mystery revealed. Okay, so these are these topics. Okay, me and my loved ones, family, friends, my place, my home city. So hobbies, someone mentioned hobbies here. I think hobbies are here under me and, me and friends. My place, my school, popular professions or jobs, as you said. Okay. My day, my games. Again, hobbies may go under here. Food, shop, my free time and holidays. Holidays in sense of free time. Holidays and traditions in my country. Okay, so culture. This will be culture here, I think. Sport, my mood, my feelings. Okay, how I feel. Nature around me. So I think, I don't know if someone mentioned animals here. I think animals will be under nature. And the world of fairy tales and imagination. This is the last item on this list. Okay, so yeah, some surprises here. Okay, so the list is there. Now the thing is it a good idea to have such a list? Can you think of advantages of having such a list? Can you? Yeah, okay, it's a good idea, but why? The favorite teacher's question, but why? Why is it a good idea to have this list? Okay, predictable. Clear for everyone, gives directions. It is a good area, but it's very extensive. Okay, it helps with planning. We know what to teach. Easier to plan work. We could add some more if we had time. Plan lessons, link with other subjects. Yes, a checklist, you know what to cover, shows what to do. Everything can be organized. Popular topics interesting for young children. Okay, right. Yeah, I think we agree because this is what I think, right? It gives you this sense of safety. You won't miss out anything. You know that, if you cover all these topics, you are doing the right thing. You are doing what you are expected to do. They sort of follow in the logical order. If you look at this list, it starts with me, my family, my immediate surrounding, and then it moves sort of further, okay, to my town, my school, my family, my country, okay. So it helps you organize your work, and it's a useful tool to plan your work, okay. For what age is this curriculum? We are talking about grades 1 to 3. So children are 6, 7, or 8, or 7, 8, 9. So from 6 to 9. Okay. Now, there is good sides and bad sides to everything. So maybe there are some traps of having such a list. Can you think of any dangers? Can you think of any maybe disadvantages of having such a list? Too many topics? Okay, yeah, Asha, the list is quite general. We don't really know what to feed into it. Overloading children. Any other possible dangers of having such a list? Let's wait a moment. Frame thinking. So it can restrict you actually as a teacher. Teachers might want to do too much. Children may be interested in other areas. Okay. Not okay, so it's not very specific, yeah, Agatha. It gives you some ideas, but what does it really mean, fairy tales? Which fairy tales, for example? Okay. Some more people writing, so I will just obligatory. Okay, so restricting. Okay, let me show you what I've got on my list. I'm a bit worried that teacher may start rushing to cover them all these topics, okay? This is on the list, I have to cover it. So it puts some pressure, okay? I still haven't covered 5 topics on the list, okay? It might lead to this kind of like ticking off. I've done food, I can forget about it. I've done, fairy tales, okay? And it may, as you suggested, restrict some teachers. So children may be interested in something else, and some teachers may say, okay, it's not on the list, we can't do it. Which actually, I mean, the answer to this problem is easy, and it's in the core curriculum. Because in the core curriculum, it also says that individual students' needs should be taken into account. It has been just a recommendation in the old core curriculum, but it's going to be requirement in the new one. Well, if it is a list, you are kind of supposed, because someone mentioned here, someone said it's too much. Well, actually, if you look at this list, this is, I mean, all these things we have been covering so far. Okay, this is if you open any course book, these are the topics we've been covering, but it has never been put together as a list. So, as I said, some people may find it a useful tool, but some people may worry, what does it really mean? Okay. Before we move on, very, very quickly, I would like to make some general comments. Some things that we have to keep in mind. One thing is that we should remember that even though teaching young learners is not a new phenomenon globally, we still don't have a specific, distinct teaching young learners methodology. What we have is a combination of this kind of watered down approach for older learners and what we draw from general methodology for early years. And I think that we have to remember about it. On the one hand, we look at the methods we use with adults and we pick up things which are best for us and for our learners. But we also look at the methodology of teaching young learners. And we draw a lot because there is a lot to look at. I also wanted, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I wanted you to look at this picture and tell me if you think someone has walked here recently. Can you just quickly write yes or no what you think? No, 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 no. Yep, oh. Someone knows that if a teacher asks a question, there must be something in it. Maybe yes. Yeah, I walked, here and there a couple of times, but I didn't leave any traces. To leave a trace, you would need to walk this, along this path thousands of times. Yeah. How many times have people walked here to make this path? Probably a lot of people, a lot of times, on many occasions. If they stop walking along this path, it will start overgrowing. This is for me a metaphor for teaching children and especially teaching vocabulary. You have to walk this path thousands of times for vocabulary to stay. Okay? Walking once or even twice or 3 times or 10 times doesn't really leave any impact. So when we teach children, we have to readdress the same issues over and over again. Now something a bit harder. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Bloom's taxonomy. Benjamin Bloom looked at questions that teachers ask in the classroom. And he noticed that these questions actually are at certain levels. They may be at the level of knowledge, so what our pupils know, but a higher level is what they understand. You may know something, but you may not be able to understand it. Yet a higher level is a level of application. Can I use this knowledge to solve a problem or in a new situation? Even higher is the level of analysis. Are you able to analyze it, to pull into parts? Yet above it is the level of synthesis. And on the top, we've got evaluation. This is the old Bloom's model. The new model has creation at the top. But it's not really important. What it says is that, or what it means is that if you teach at the level of knowledge only, deep learning doesn't happen. We have to move up. We have to give children a chance to do something with the new language, to apply it, maybe to analyze it for the language to stay. And I'm going to show you something which probably you won't be able to read, but this is a grid, a table, which teachers use in England, in the UK use. It says Bloom's Taxonomy Teacher Planning Kit. Teachers use this grid, and if you want, I can share it with you later on, to plan their lessons. So we've got these different Bloom's levels: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. And underneath, we've got the keywords that we use to set up activities. And we've got the expected actions. And when teachers plan lessons, they look at this grid and they check. They, for example, design a lesson and they think, which level is my teaching at? Is it only the level of knowledge? If it's only the level of knowledge, deep learning may not happen. So we have to include some elements from higher levels. They are the lower ones are called low-level thinking skills, or low-order thinking skills. They are sometimes called LOTS, and higher level are called HOTS, higher order thinking skills. So we need to use more of these levels to make learning meaningful. Okay, and really very, very, very last thing, we've got the curriculum, which some people say is a bit restricting, but I want you to look at this quotation from John Dewey. And what is most prominent for me in this quotation is that the teacher must be an intelligent medium of action. We have to look at this curriculum with a lot of common sense. Agnieszka, you're asking about this teacher planning kit. I can email it to you. So if you just send me an email, I only have it as a PDF version, but I'm quite happy to share it. Okay, and promise, it's the last quotation. We are moving to something practical immediately. This is Arthur Clarke, the author of Space Odyssey 2001, who said, if children have interest, then education happens. Okay, yeah, we need curriculum, we need guidelines, but we have to make sure that children are interested, are really interested. Okay, I promised that this was going to be the last quotation, but this is the last one. Learning a foreign language, a second language or a foreign language, is different than learning any other school subject. So if we want to motivate students, if we want them to encourage them, we need to use techniques that are beyond techniques used with other subject matter. I put this quotation here because sometimes teachers say, why we English teachers have to bother so much about keeping children interested and motivating them? Think about maths teachers. Do they really, try their best to make children interested? Do they really try their best to make maths fascinating, engaging? And we English teachers are trying to do it all the time. I think we have to, because psychologically, learning a foreign language is different than learning other subjects. Okay, someone asked about, I think Yoasha asked about if we have to look at this planning grid, planning kit before every lesson. No, but if we studied it, if we looked at it once, we don't really need, we can have it as a reference point, because very quickly we will learn how to assess our teaching in terms of Bloom's thinking skills. Okay, time to do something really practical. The first topic on the list was me and my family. And this is something we start with immediately with children, because we start with their immediate surrounding. Excuse me. And very often we say that it's good to start teaching English early to young children because they don't have any inhibitions, they are confident. Yes, they are, but not all of them. Some young children find it quite intimidating to speak in a foreign language. That's why we acknowledge the silent period. Some children, well, adults for that matter as well, need some time before they can start speaking. So I think we should do something to help children, because these early stages, early learning is really important. We don't really want to discourage them. So what I like doing quite often is when I teach little children, or when I used to teach little children, to help them talk about themselves, I used puppets. And these puppets, the simplest puppet ever, is just, a stick, a pencil, a straw, and the picture. Sorry, I've got problems fiddling with this face. A picture of a child. Now with modern technology, with cameras in our mobile phones or in children's mobile phones, this is something that can be done easily. And the power of the puppet is that if you have a puppet in your hand, and if you move it, if you manipulate it, you stop thinking about the language. You start thinking about what the puppet is doing, okay? So children find it easier to say, okay, hello, I'm Hania, I'm 7, I like dancing. It's easier for them to do this than just open their mouth and speak. If you want it for all the children, they quite often go for, pictures of someone who maybe they would like to look like. And even with teenagers, you can do this. They can just cut something from a magazine, and then you can ask them. With older pupils, you can do this because it's a bit dangerous with younger ones. You can use the same puppets with younger ones, but you have to cut these holes for them, which is more time consuming. Just 2 holes at the bottom to put your fingers through, and it makes the puppet move. And I think this is the power of puppet. The moment you have it, you start moving it, and your brain stops concentrating on the pressure, and the performance is better, the intonation is better. Sometimes anything that children can hold in hands is good. These are just, pencils with kind of tops. But even this helps children overcome some problems. Now, with these puppets, you can ask children to keep them in their, course books or notebooks, and they can take them out and use whenever they want. Or you can stick them to the wall, for example, using blue tip, and use them whenever you need them. This way you sort of avoid the situations. Miss, I forgot my puppet, I left it at home. Or you can just keep them in a mug somewhere on the table. Okay, this is also very good. It's an alternative for like choosing kids to answer, or to, you know, if you don't have enough volunteers, you just pick up a puppet. Okay. We've said family, me and my family. Well, I find family becoming a more and more sensitive topic. We've got more and more children who do not come from a traditional family, and not all children are happy to be part of, you know, patchwork family. Of course, you know your students best, and you know if talking about their own families is safe or not. But I think you may avoid it again using puppets. And instead of talking about their own family, they can talk about imaginary family. Okay? Here is the father, short and stout. Here is the mother, with children all about. Here is the brother, tall, you see. Here is the sister, with dolly on her knee. Here is the baby, sure to grow. And here is the family, all in a row. Okay? You can talk about the family, you can talk about fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, but it doesn't have to be the child's own family. Okay? What we also sort of gain using nursery rhymes is that we immediately introduce culture. Yeah, someone Asha agrees with me that children sometimes are not happy to talk about their own families. Yeah, I found it too, so that's why I think about it. Okay. Now, I think I've said before that for me, the danger of having this list is that it may lead to kind of like routinely ticking off. I've done family, I don't have to do it anymore, okay? I can forget about it, or I can leave it aside for the time being. I think it's important to link different areas and show children that there is connection between what they are doing. Sorry, I'm fiddling with more puppets now. Okay. And you can show them that, okay, we've got families of people, but we also have families of animals. 5 little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mummy duck said, quack, 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 but only 4 little ducks came back. 4 little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mummy duck said, quack, 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 but only 3 little ducks came back. And so on and so on. And finally, Mummy duck went on swimming one little duck went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mummy duck said, quack, 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 quack. No little ducks came back. But I don't like sad endings, so I added the last line to this song, or this rhyme. Mummy duck went out swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mummy duck said, quack, 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 and all 5 ducks came back. So we've got family combined with nature. Okay, we talk about animals, we talk about family. Can we add something more? Well, we can add maths, because there were 5 dogs. They were, you will be seeing it in a different sort of reverse. I mean, you won't see it properly, okay? But what I'm saying is 5 dogs, 3 dogs went away. There were 2 dogs left. Okay. I think probably there are some people among you who are using things like these little popsicle sticks or clothes pegs. I think they are very good because they are cheap, they are easy to get. Nothing happens if they get sort of destroyed. I like the fact that they are wooden. I don't like plastic ones, and you can write on wooden ones. And I think it's a nice, I mean, I'm all for technology, but I think that with little children, we should not rush with technology too much. We should first use very simple methods. So just having a simple wooden stick, you can just write plus and equals, and children can manipulate these pegs and do mathematical solve mathematical problems. Because you know what, I don't know if you realize, but early education teachers, general teachers, class teachers for early years, quite often complain that we English teachers don't teach maths or numbers in the wrong way. Because what we usually do, we make sure that they can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? But very often, if we ask them, what's this in English? Especially the little ones have to start from the beginning one. They go on. And then they get lost and they go, okay, 6. Okay? So I think it's quite easy to introduce simple maths into our English lessons. We will have combination with correlation with mathematics, and a very simple thing is number match wheel. You can make it, you can find them on the internet, you can make one yourself, and if you introduce it to children, you can ask them to make one themselves. What it simply is a wheel divided into sections, and then you need these pegs again, and children have, okay, this is number 1, where is 1 element? Here. Okay, this is number 9, this is 9. Where is 9? What can I find 9? Probably here. Okay, this can be something for early finishes. You can keep it in the classroom, somewhere in a box. And if you've got someone who finished early, you can tell them, okay, go to our numbers box, take one of the wheels and put the pegs around. You can check it very quickly. Or you can ask, if there is the second early finisher, you can tell them, okay, go to Kasia and check if she matched it all correctly. It's quiet, and this will motivate some of them to finish fast because they will want to go and play with this wheel. This particular one has these numbers in order, okay? So we've got 1 star, 2 stars, and so on. I think after a while, it's a good idea to create a wheel with random order so that they don't really go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but they really have to look and think, okay, how many elements I can see. And if you ask children to prepare such wheels, they can, you know, draw little pictures of whatever they like drawing. So we've got also correlation with art. You can even ask if you don't want to spend time doing this as an English lesson, you can ask the class teacher if children can make it in one of their lessons. Yeah, no great art skills. Yeah, absolutely. You know, my principle is we as teachers, we do have to prepare extra materials, and we do want to prepare extra materials because it personalizes our teaching. But we don't want to spend, you know, all night preparing them. So of course, if you, it's better when the wheel moves around. Yeah, if you use a cork and a pin, yes, absolutely. Okay, let's move on because I'm aware of the time passing. Okay, I'm crazy about puppets. Those of you who know me know that I'm crazy about puppets. And I like nursery rhymes and puppets. Two little dicky birds sitting on a wall. One called Peter, one called Paul. Fly away, Peter, fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter, come back, Paul. Okay, it's a very simple nursery rhyme. Children can recite it using puppets. So again, we've got family or friends, nature, animals. It's rhyming, it's rhythmical. So children practice pronunciation, practice natural flow of language. But look what else you can do with it. Oh, sorry. You can change some words. So instead of how do you stick the puppet? Okay, there is a paper ring. There is a ring, a paper ring at the back. So you simply cut shape and then you make a paper ring which you stick and then you put it on your finger. Okay. So instead of two little dicky birds, we can say two funny dolphins swimming in the sea. One named Peter and one named, no, Paul doesn't sit here because Paul rhymes with wall, so we need something which rhymes with sea. Maybe Lee. Okay, so two little dolphins or two funny dolphins swimming in the sea. One named Peter, one named Lee. Swim away, Peter. Swim away, Lee. Come back, Peter. Come back, Lee. Okay, so this imagination, which was a bit suspicious for some of you at the beginning, okay, we can, with this short rhyme, we can show children how language works because we do it with them. We show them, okay, so instead of two little dicky birds, we can say two funny dolphins, okay? Instead of sitting, we can have swimming, and not on the wall, it must be somewhere else. Of course, first time, we have to do it with children. Now, after you do it with children, you can ask them, okay, now you try on your own. Try to write your own poem. And actually, this is what I was going to invite you to do, but because I'm aware of the time flying, this is something you can do on your own. Now, you could see, probably you could see that I was fiddling with this puppet and I had these paper hands, because this is a very good way of storing these puppets. Again, paper hands is something children, if they are good at cutting, they can do something for fast finishers. Okay, they finish their activity, give them a piece of paper, ask them to trace around their hand, and you know, maybe next time if they finished early, cut it out, and you've got a number of paper hands. They should be made of rather thick card. And you put these puppets on top, and then I use blue tack and stick it to the place in the classroom where I can. I can stick it to the cupboard walls, painted walls, are a bit tricky because sometimes if the paint is not very good, it comes off with the paint. But you know, even at the side of the cupboard, and it's there, and whenever you need it, children can come and pick up their puppets and use them again, and you've got a wonderful classroom decoration. As you can see here, I've got also some language added because I think whenever you display some artwork which was prepared for English, it's important to add some language, even, you know, just a word, just one element. All right, so we had friends, family, nature, imagination, puppets. Okay, now very quickly, we are not going to do it together. I only want to show you how to make this puppet. We need a piece of paper. We change it into a square. We fold it in half. We open it. You know how to make it, so I'm doing it really fast. You fold it in half. You open it. You take one corner, fold into the middle, and crease. And you do the same with all four corners. And I'm doing it like this because I want to show you that you don't really have to do it very precisely. You turn it over. You do the same with four other corners. And then you have to fold it in half and crease, and open and fold in half in crease. And now we've got this little pocket here, and this is what we have. I did it really quickly because I wanted to show you that it's not really complicated, and it's children following instructions, listening comprehension, which you can check, and you've got a puppet. With a little bit of imagination and a little bit of creativity, you can change it into a pig. Or maybe you can change it into a snake. You know, my lateral coordination is terrible. I want it to appear, you know, on the background of the wall, but I never know which way I should put it. Maybe it's a cat. Or maybe it's a frog. Or maybe it's this exotic parrot or paradise bird. I don't know. Whatever children want, it's, you know, imagination is the limit. But they've made puppets, they spend some time. You as teachers may ask, okay, why am I doing this? I'm wasting my precious time. No, you are not, because you are preparing them for the next activity. Once they finish their puppets, and of course, while they're making their puppets, you can ask them, okay, so what eyes are you going to draw? Or has your animal got a tail? Or has your animal got teeth? And whatever. So there is language input. But when they finished, you tell them, look, your animals live in the jungle. And one of them is going to be chosen as the king. But they have to make a speech first. Now think about your speech. And you give them some support for the election speech. You tell them, welcome everybody first. Say who you are. So, hello dear animals. I'm a parrot. Say what you are good at. I'm good at talking. Say what you can do. I can fly. Make promises. I can make you happy. Use a slogan. Vote for Parrot and you will be happy. Finish with an appeal. Please vote for me. Okay? Now, this activity, the level of the language depends on the level of your children. If they are very little, they just say, hello, I'm Parrot. If they know a bit more language, they can say, hello, I'm Parrot. I'm red, yellow, green, blue, and white. If they know a bit more English, they can say, hello, I'm the parrot. I'm blue, green, yellow, and white. I can fly. Okay, so this activity is really for any level, but because children made a puppet, they feel more attached to it, and their speeches are sort of much better than if they were going to make a speech about themselves. Okay, and they talk about moods and feelings and what they can do. Okay, yeah, not difficult to make. My ideas are never difficult. I'm a lazy person. Okay. Now I couldn't, with this webinar, we couldn't make links to anything else than YouTube. So I'm just giving you the link to a song in which you combine feelings, me, food, and fun, and days of the week. Monday night, Molly had a fright. A hungry monster knocking at the window, rubbing his tummy and licking his lips. I'm going to eat you with pizza and chips, pizza and chips, pizza and chips. I'm going to eat you with pizza and chips. And there are more characters like this, okay? Tuesday night, Tommy had a fright. A hungry monster knocking at the window, rubbing his tummy and licking his lips. I'm going to eat you with pizza and chips, pizza and chips, pizza and chips. I'm going to eat you with pizza and chips. Okay. Now, this is a funny song. Again, children can use puppets and they can identify with them, they can manipulate them. And in this song, we've got things like I'm going to eat, which is quite a mouthful for children to sing. But when they sing and they listen to it, they become familiar with these words. Okay, so you can just go to this British Council website, and they used to have a much better film to go, and there is a worksheet there. There used to be much better film to go with this song, but they changed it into something which I don't like very much. But I like my own puppets. Right. Now, there is also a recommendation in the core curriculum to use authentic materials. So for food and authentic materials, I think the natural choice is this book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, which probably you know very well. And it's about, in case you don't, it's about a caterpillar which was very hungry and each day was eating something different. I like to introduce this book, before I read the book, I like to introduce it to children using pictures. But after reading the book, now I have to move a bit. What I like doing is I've got paper plates, and for each day, children draw what the caterpillar ate. So on Wednesday, it was 3 plums. On Thursday, it was 4 strawberries. And what we do then is so children do it individually. You ask them in pairs, for example, depending on how many children you have, and you give them a plate and instructions what to do. And then you take this plate from them and you arrange them on the tape, on the board, all together. And you add 1 plate for the head. And I hope I will manage to show it to you. And I need to move my camera a bit. Okay. This is done. Can you see it? So all these plates together make a caterpillar, which is a nice combination of, you know, talking about food and the idea of the caterpillar growing and growing. Okay, I would have forgotten about Ernie. When we talk about me and my friends and family, quite often talk about clothes. And again, children can talk about their own clothes, or you can bring Ernie to the class. So Ernie is a bit, he travels with me, so he's a bit kind of tarnished. It's cut out of cardboard. You see? But the funny thing about Ernie is that you can put little clothes on it. And someone already mentioned secondhand shops. I love secondhand shops because I can get there whatever I want. For example, I could get there a leather waistcoat. So if it's cold, Ernie can be dressed in a waistcoat. Okay, sorry. It's difficult to dress a child. Okay. You can keep Ernie in the classroom, and each day a different child can pick up some clothes from a bag of clothes. So maybe a woolen jumper, maybe pajamas, maybe a denim dress. This is very important. It's not a jeans dress, it's a denim dress. Very important for children, okay? And also the cultural difference. We call it sukienka jeansowa, but it's a denim dress. And they can put it on Ernie. Or again, it can be something for early finishers, okay? You finished your activity, your exercise, okay? Now go to the back of the classroom, pick up something, and dress Ernie. Okay, but words are not enough. One of the dangers of using this, having this list, is that we may concentrate so much on vocabulary that we may forget about structures. We need to give them structures to use this vocabulary. And one very easy but very good way for me is, I'm sure you know this very popular game now, I've got, who's got. Okay, do you all know it? So this is the template. So these are the cards. Okay, this is one card. Someone says start and says who can dance, and this is another card. Someone else has this card, and they can see the picture of a dancer. So they have to answer I can dance, and they ask the question who can swim. Another child somewhere in the classroom has this picture, this card, so they say, I can swim, who can cook? And so on and so on. Now, I've seen this game mainly as, you know, I've got, who's got, but actually it's very good for, you know, any structure, okay? I like, who likes? Okay, I like, you can put here, let's say, pictures of food. I like bananas. Who likes strawberries? I like strawberries. Who likes something else? Okay, now, where do I keep all this stuff? You wouldn't like to see my room now. It's a total mess. You know, okay, when I at university, when I go to my classes, okay, all other, you know, my colleagues, they take a laptop and a projector and they go to their classes, and I carry 2 handbags full of stuff to my classes. But that's part and parcel of the fun. Okay, so this game, Who's Got, I've Got, is very often played in little groups. But I think it's a very good idea to play it if you have enough cards for each child in the classroom. So you deal the cards, and they may be sitting, at first, they may be sitting in a circle so that they can see each other. But if they get used to this game, they may be sitting at their desks. And one of them says, "Who can dance?" And you will see there's complete silence because they are listening. Who will answer this? And someone says, "Okay, I can dance." This is also very good with numbers. You can say, "I've got, who's got 2 plus 2?" And there is a child who's got 5, so they have to, 4, so they have to count quickly and say, "I've got 4. Who's got 1 plus 1?" Okay, so it's really easy to make. This game is really easy to make, and it's very good because it, apart from practicing vocabulary, it also teaches listening comprehension. Okay, I'm absolutely aware that we are running out of time, so I will leave this activity for. Okay, this will be a trailer for the next webinar. Okay, I want to tell you what's this. This is something I found on Facebook, and apologies because I don't know who put it on Facebook, so I can't give credit, but this is a way of recording vocabulary. Also very clever. I think it comes from someone in the OK Zeszyt on Facebook put it. Okay, rather than traditional writing down words, you've got little cards, you've got a picture, got a word in English on one side, and on the other side you've got a word in Polish. Okay, now my take of technology, because in the introduction or in the announcement to this webinar there was something about technology. My take on technology is that with little ones we should not overuse technology. I think Patricia Kuhl, who is studying little babies and how they learn languages, her studies, her research proves that children don't learn from machines. Children learn from human beings. So that's why I prefer, even though I'm not a singer, I prefer to sing a song to children rather than play the recording. Because when I sing, they watch my mouth. And I can see them hanging on my mouth. And it's easier for them to say the word, to pronounce the word. Okay, so technology, yes, but think about all these generations who did manage to learn a lot without advanced technology. I think with little children in grades 1 to 3, we can use their mobile phones, we can use their cameras, they can take pictures, they can maybe record some language, but not necessarily put them in front of computers. I think, you know, all these educational games are very good for self-study at home, but in the classroom I think we should make use of the best resource we have, that is ourselves. Okay, because again, Sir Arthur Clarke said that a teacher that can be replaced by a machine should be. So we don't want to be replaced by machines. Okay, just very, very briefly to show what I mean by using the experience and multisensory experience is this is how I was teaching fruit and vegetables. We made a Venn diagram on paper, and we put things which you eat raw, so this is the picture of a mouth, and things which we cook. You can see a pot here, and in the middle we had things which you both cook and eat raw. And children were physically putting stuff in the correct section of the Venn diagram, and then they were drawing it as a picture. Again, we've got correlation with maths because Venn diagrams are used in maths, and it helps them understand the whole concept. And it's multisensory. And afterwards, you can make a fruit salad. Okay. This is something that I want you to check after this webinar. Okay, I want you to go to this website, to this Facebook website, and to watch this little film. I haven't done this. I haven't done this multisensory nature walk, but I'm going to try it because I've just recently discovered it. but I'm trying to do it in summer with some teachers first. And I'm going to definitely sort of, take pictures or maybe film it. And maybe next time, yeah, I will try to put the link. In a moment, I will put the link in the chat box. So I will tell you what it is. It's from the kindergarten. It's a short video clip from a kindergarten. So it's a little baby in the video, but you can do it with all the children. You need boxes. It's messy, I know. You need boxes big enough for children to put their feet in. And you put sand in one box, pebbles in another, some leaves in another, maybe some grass. Maybe you can sort of, take the layer of grass in another. And you blindfold children and you help them walk. They have to be barefoot and they walk from box to box, stepping on these different um, things, okay? And they have to guess, are they standing on sand, or is it water, or is it pebbles? You can also have shells if you've got enough shells. I think it's fantastic. I just fell in love with it, but I didn't have chance to try it out. So I promise that next time I will share with you. If I have a seminar, a webinar after summer, I will definitely show you teachers doing this. Okay, I think it's time to say thank you. I don't think we've got time for questions, and I wasn't really able to follow what was going on in the chat box. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, respect. No, thank you is enough. Thank you for being here, rather than spending time walking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad you found it useful. If you try any of these activities, maybe I should put my email address, my private email address here. Hey, this is my address, my email address. And if you have any questions, you can email me, because I don't think we've got time for questions now. If you want any links that I shared and didn't put, yeah, the address of, okay. Okay, so this is the multisensory walk. Please try it right after we finish, because I wonder if you find it as amazing as I do. Thank you, thank you. So I would be happy to, if you try any of these ideas and if you have any comments, I would be happy to hear from you. So do let me know if you've got other ideas, or if it triggered other ideas, or if you take any pictures. And you can always find me on Facebook. I'm addicted to Facebook, unfortunately. So you can always find me there. Okay, so I suppose that's it. Have a lovely Saturday, get some rest. I'm rushing to another event because There weren't many people from Lublin, but in Lublin today we've got teachers forum. So some teachers are presenting their ideas now, and I have to go and join them. Yeah, I hope to see you. And as I said, do let me know if you try any of these ideas and if they work. Okay, bye.